back to the show, everybody. Unfortunately, and as you well know, if you go onto our social media accounts, the stories that drew everybody's attention and the most engagement were these school riots. 2 of them at JFK and Teadsden High, of course. The Sarge is here, Paul Tapao from GPD, and Sarge, we did a live stream with the Superintendent of Public Education, John Fernandez, over at his office and everything like that. So much feedback coming from the community. First of all, what's been your take at what the fallout is of these events?
It really is. All boils down to just the individual choices that these students made, and highlighting what we did with the live stream and discussing it with the top brass with the Department of Education. He highlighted those are the 1-2 percentiles of the kids who just pretty much don't understand the importance of education. And we also highlighted how behavior and education go hand in hand, and when you have that combination where people who just don't want to be there for the right reasons, start to get hold of illegal substance and really cause a lot of issues for not just the student population but the entire community. It really, if you take everything back, you scale it back and you break it down, and it really all boiled down to was the decisions that were made by those individuals. And we can learn a lot from this moving forward as a community, but really understanding what we can do. It was highlighted over and over, and the comments that I was reading after the segment was really about where the parents, parental involvement plays a key role, especially at this time or this stage in their young lives.
Now, you try telling kids when you do school tours and on this segment and everything, you say, if you find yourself in a bad situation, because, that riot, there's like 99% of Guamanians, fortunately, are never going to be in that situation. Yeah. But if you do, kids typically won't prepare for that. But then, you're like, oh, one of my friends, my classmates, my cousin finds himself in trouble. I don't want him to get hurt. Should I help out? Should I just, turn in the other direction and everything like that? How can kids kind of mentally prepare themselves if they happen to be in that situation?
Situational awareness will allow you to and prepare you for in the event something like that happens.
And we keep talking about that, situational awareness.
We have, and it really is, understanding that what you can do to help is really by not encouraging it, not enticing it further than what it should be. What you should do is actually tell a school staff, a responsible adult about what's going on. Walk away from it. The more we egg them on, the more we encourage it, it tends to build. Like putting wood in a fire, it's going to get bigger and bigger, or adding fuel to the fire, so to say. Be responsible and be mature about it. Walk away and tell me, hey, this is not my gig. This is not what I can walk away from this. I can be the better person. I can be an upstander and just walk away and just report this to the individuals. And unfortunately, when you get caught in this situation, put yourself in a safe area. Put yourself in a safe environment. The more you avoid it, the distance that you provide, you're going to be better off. But by you standing there and by you engaging and enticing and encouraging them for more, it really is going to magnify it into something where it blows out to be a full-scale riot.
Now, in your 2 decades working with GPD, you've responded to a few riots in your time. Explain to us, as a cop, what it's like to get that call and then to go out there, especially when it's a riot involving young people.
It's dangerous. It really is. Any type of physical altercation, whether it be, one of the most dangerous physical altercation that any police officer can respond to is a domestic violence. But any type of physical altercation where rage, passion, and coupled with, other influences such as alcohol or drugs, it becomes dicey for the officer. So understanding that a riot is 5 or more individuals engaging in a physical altercation, you really have to make better judgment. We wait for backup. More of the times, we really wait until they get tired and we start coming in. I mean, it's understanding, are you going to be able to come home that night or that day to your family? And you get caught up in that situation and you have 5 guys, 5 on 5 going against each other. You come in and you try to de-escalate that. Now you may have 10 guys turning on you. So you got to really understand what's going on, understand the magnitudes of what you can do. We always go in. We never go in by ourselves. We wait for backup. We wait for additional units.
Even though you guys are older and bigger, that doesn't necessarily mean just you having presence on the campus that it's going to put a full stop to it. You guys can't go in there and be Rambo.
Yep, absolutely. And I've always lived and worked by this saying: never underestimate the old lady with the cane, because at any time they can turn on you. And the same thing, when you have kids I want to say young adults to even mid-age adults engage in, and they're raging and everything, and there's a lot of anger, there's a fuel, and there's a passion. You come in and you do intervention and you try to break things up, they may quickly turn on you. And we've seen that a lot happening to our
especially
officers.
in a riot situation, I would think, because it's so spread out over so many square
Yeah.
feet and everything. Like, you walk into the situation, it's like, okay, where do I go? What do I respond to? So
Yeah,
what does your training lead you to do?
It really looking out to your situational awareness kicks in, and it's really your environment and how do you use your environment to protect you and to save you. Understanding where you can go and what you can't do, and understanding that if you go into the midst of everything, you're gonna get caught in a melee. So, these are things in which we practice. The best thing to do as a bystander or a citizen out there, or even a student that you may encounter these type of situations, walk away from it. Walk away to a safe distance, walk away to a classroom. Once they initiate the shelter in place, those doors will lock. And the perpetrators that continue to engage that, these are the individuals that we'll look for. But understanding your safety and your security should be paramount. And how do you protect that? It's really taking care of yourself and making better choices.
Okay, Sarge, I want to talk about kids making smart decisions in just a moment, but what do you got for us this week for Crime of the Week?
This week is a robbery that happened down in Tumon. This happened, by the Westin Hotel. So, the lighting down there is perfect. We do have a brief, somewhat description of a vehicle, but if anybody has any information that may have witnessed this crime, please submit a tip to the Guam Crime Stoppers.
Okay, Tumon, not again. Pay attention, everybody, because this is the 411 that you need to know.
On Saturday, September 7, our officers from the Tumon Precinct Command entertained a robbery complaint that occurred by the Westin Hotel in Tumon. Now, the preliminary police report suggests that shortly before 4 in the morning, a female tourist was walking by the Westin Hotel when an unknown man emerged from the bushes and grabbed her shoulder bag. The unknown male, only described as possibly local, was last seen wearing a white polo shirt. He was seen entering a red car which fled on Santos Hill. As a result of the robbery, the victim fell to the ground and sustained abrasions to her arms and legs. She was treated by Guam Fire Department's medical personnel at the scene. Now, the Guam Crime Stoppers is asking the help from the community relative to this case. If you have any information about this case, please call the Guam Crime Stoppers at 477-HELP or text 688-STOP. You can also visit our webpage at www.guam.crimestoppersweb.com or call the Guam Police Department at 475-8615-6 or 7. Guam Crime Stoppers wants to remind the public that we do not use caller ID and you do not have to leave your name. You can receive a cash reward of up to $1,000 if the information provided leads to the arrest and conviction for the person or persons responsible for this crime or any other crime.
Okay, Sarge, very helpful information again. So once again, young people watching this, they may now be watching on their phone or their iPad, by themselves, not around their peers and not subject to peer pressure. What should they think about? What message would you want to pass along to them if something strange, scary, dangerous, violent happens in their school?
Better choices. It really is. It boils down to choices. Thinking that, that what you can do, it's that information that you provide. We've been getting a lot of text messages about scheduled riots that they may be anticipating. We're still deciphering to determine whether this is a hoax or what, but nonetheless, the Guam Police Department, alongside the Department of Education and all the schools that are affected by this, we're taking a proactive approach and we're providing visibility. But understand this, one good way in making better choices is understanding consequences that can happen. Should you engage in these type of incidents, it really is. Think about the consequences. You're teetering towards graduation. You're an adult. You're gonna go straight to jail. And
that's what the superintendent was saying, is like being expelled is the absolute last resort in GDOE, but once you do, if you ever get expelled, you are nothing.
It's hard. It really is. Not sort of saying nothing but everything, but the consequences and that snowball effect that happens after that. You're gonna spend the night in jail. You're gonna have to pay restitution. You're gonna have the court proceedings, and then you're gonna have to go through your sentences. Before you know it, your whole high school career, your whole high school life is just gone. So really understanding decision making, understanding what consequences are.
Tough to get a job, tough to join the military after that. So
yeah, it is.
So basically, be smart.
Be smart, make right choices. That's what we teach from primary grade, so as young as kindergarten to even as high school. And in understanding that, you have to have a mature mind. You have to have a mature and responsible understanding of what you can do to be a productive student in your school and in the community.
All right, Sarge, thanks as always.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Remember, kids, as the man just said, Having a high GPA doesn't mean you can be smart. Being an NHS doesn't necessarily mean you can be smart. Being smart starts right here.